Good morning, everybody. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross-stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy, and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is Sunday, June 23rd. It's my FlossTube number 247. This is my beautiful black cat, Bagheera, for those of you who are new to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I do have a super thanks button below for any monetary tips that you guys might want to give. I also have a PayPal account, which if you do use that, it's not quite as convenient, but I do get all of what you send me instead of Apple and YouTube taking most of it. But I want to say welcome. So, interesting tidbit. Between this week and next week's video is actually my 5-year anniversary on FlossTube. Yes, 5 years. Seems crazy. It doesn't. In some ways, it feels like I've been doing this my whole life, and in some ways, it feels like I started yesterday. So, which, you know, I think is a pretty typical feeling about doing videos. And aside from an occasional being ill or occasionally having a short vacation, I have done a video every Sunday for the last 5 years, plus a ton of extra ones. So wow. My very first video was in 2019. It was the last weekend before the 4th of July. And then my second video was actually like the 5th of July, that weekend. So yeah, it was right around the end of June, and it was, a StitchCon weekend, in 2019, I believe, because I remember saying that, you know, I had become aware of, you know, the FlossTube community in the 6 months prior to me actually starting my videos, and so I was very aware and sort of jelly about StitchCon. I'm not so jelly about it anymore. I'm not quite as FOMO about retreats and stuff like that, although I am excited to be going to the retreat I'm going to this year. But yeah, so that first video, I showed my projects, I showed my stuff, I told my story on how I got started stitching, because really I'd only been stitching for a few months when I started that video. I have a history my whole life of crafting and needlework and stuff like that, but really kind of cross stitch, I had just started it back in March of 2019. So these 5 years, I have done a lot in the crafting, my little crafting world, not in the crafting world in general. I mean, I have done kind of cross stitch. I have learned how to do kind of canvas. I've done some needlepoint. I have taught myself to crochet. I started doing some paper crafting. We won't talk about that because you guys know I've been terrible about the projects that I owe people. We have learned I am terrible about actually sending out giveaways, so I'm tending to not want to do them because I'm very enthusiastic about setting them up and then very bad about getting to the post office or finishing the projects. But it's really the post office thing that is a problem for me, and the cost of the post office. I have grown to, I want to say almost 3,000 subscribers, but not quite. I have another couple hundred to go. And oh, I want to push it. It floors me, people who are brand new FlossTubers who have like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers their first 2 weeks. You know, if you're a guy, that definitely happens. And I'm, you know, plodding along at 2,700 something, you know, something. And it goes up, it goes down, and it goes up, and it goes down. And it's frustrating. It's like, what do I have to do, you guys? I'm already on every week. Tell your friends. But yeah, 5 years on FlossTube. So I guess happy anniversary to me, and thank you all so much for supporting the channel and supporting me and coming back and watching every week. That's just amazing to me that you guys are doing that. So yeah, so thank you. This last 5 years, as far as crafting and FlossTube and all that kind of stuff, has definitely been a big positive in my life. Other things have been a little bit more of a struggle, but you know what? The crafting is always there, and it helps. It really does. My desk is looking like a mess in the camera here. Okay, so let's see. Let's get going. I always talk about Southern California weather, and we are in the summer, you guys. I mean, officially, we passed the first day of summer, and the weather is agreeing. We are now in the 90s. Today is actually, we're having a heat advisory, and it's supposed to get up into the low to mid 90s today. It's supposed to be in the 80s, mid to high, well, actually ranging all over the place next week. I think actually Friday is supposed to be the low of like 80 or 81, and the rest of the week is going to be up and down the 80s, and then going back into the 90s again next week. So we are definitely in the heat. I have definitely had my air conditioning on. It's not on right now. It's not that hot in here because I did have it on all night. But if it starts getting warmer, you'll tell, because I'll start getting a little bit more glowy than I am now. I think right now, actually, I look glowy because of the makeup that I put on this morning. And I'm not actually sweaty, but soon it becomes the actual, you know, the internal glow. So yeah, so we're definitely into the heat, which means that I spend most of my time at home, which is not different in the winter. But, you know, I'm not motivated to do very much. I haven't been motivated to do very much this past couple weeks anyway. That was just a mental headspace thing, but yeah, but the heat doesn't help. So it is what it is, you know, we got to get through the summer and get back into the cooler fall weather. Although fall in Southern California is not that cool. It doesn't cool off until like late October into November, and then it might like start going down. September is usually one of our hottest months. So okay, Zoom reminder: this week on Wednesday I will be having a Zoom at 6 o'clock Pacific time. So anybody who would like to join, please do. Probably won't be on for very long because, as I said, it's going to be 6 o'clock my time. If you're on the East Coast, it's 9 already. And I'm going to get home, probably be hungry. So, you know, I don't know. I'll either be able to grab something really quick, or I will not be able to grab something before the Zoom starts, depending on when I get home, and then I'm going to be wanting to eat. So, probably won't be a long Zoom. 1.5 hours, maybe 2. But, you know, it's always fun to kind of get together with friends and just chit chat for a little bit. I did have a Zoom this past Sunday. Very small crowd. It was just 2 of us. It was me and Steve and Maureen. And, you know, but we had some nice little chit-chatting going on. And Maureen is not a cross-stitcher. She's a quilter and a crocheter. I'm not exactly sure how she found my channel, but I'm glad she did, because she's a really nice lady, and she joins the Zooms and has shown some really nice crochet like patterns and stuff, and some gorgeous quilting. So yeah, I'm so happy whenever anybody joins the Zooms, and it's nice to have confirmation that I do have at least 1 or 2 men who actually watch my channel. So that's great. So thanks, Steve, for being one of the guys. Yeah, so it was fun. I enjoy doing the Zooms. Sometimes, again, it's hard for me to motivate myself to want to get on there, but once I do, I always enjoy it. Now, I will warn you guys, as we're coming into summer, my new like setup for when I do Zooms, because I set up a little corner to set up my computer and stuff, but unfortunately that corner is hot and my air and my fans and stuff don't reach over there. So I may have to change that again, or I don't know. I have a little, like a little fan somewhere. If I can find that, then maybe I can set it up in that corner so that I'm not dying during Zooms and wanting to get off just because I'm too hot. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it works out, and hopefully I will be able to find that thing, and we can all stay comfortable and Zoom together. Okay, let's see. Oh, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Dawn and Bonnie. Dawn's birthday was last week, I think. I can't remember the exact day. I know I saw it and said hi on Instagram. And then Bonnie, I think, was Friday. So happy birthday to you guys. Thank you so much for both being such good friends and good friends to my channel and good friends to me and everything. So I hope you guys had wonderful days. And then other birthday news, shall we say, which I'm excited about. I got a call or a text actually last week or the week before from my friend Lisa of Greg and Lisa fame. Greg, I've mentioned him before on my channel. He's my brother's best friend from high school. He's kind of like my second little brother, and we've done some fun stuff together in the past year or so. He very generously took me to see a play, to see actually Les Miserables several months ago. Yeah, so we have plans. We always have plans to get together, and then of course things don't happen because life. But I did get a text from Lisa that she and Greg wanted to take me out for my birthday, to be sure to take me out for my birthday, which isn't until August, so we've got plenty of time. But she wanted to get like on the books. Like I have such a full social schedule. But really what she wanted to find out is if I would be interested in going with them to see Beauty and the Beast at La Mirada Playhouse. And I said, of course I would. So they got tickets, and they are going to take me to a Saturday matinee the weekend after my birthday to go see Beauty and the Beast. So I am very excited about that coming up. And seeing them will be fantastic. And, you know, hopefully we'll see each other before then, before the middle of August. But if not, I have that to look forward to. And yeah, so Greg is the one I'm trying to convince to do another D&D game in person. He has been dealing, unfortunately, his dad has been in and out of the hospital, being, you know, having some different like falls and things like that. And so he's been dealing with a lot of like health stuff with his dad, and having to move his dad into a different like senior living place and things like that. So he's been dealing with a lot, excuse me, of family stuff. And, you know, when that settles down, he's definitely said that he's really interested in running another D&D campaign. Hasn't done one in years. So I am looking forward to sometime in the future being able to do a in-person game along with the game that I do with my brother online. I just think it'll be fun. So, okay, I think that's about it for all of the preamble today. Excuse me. The allergies are not getting any better. The pollen counts around here must be really high because I just have been so sneezy and, you know, that scratchy type throat. And I'm not sick. I'm just, you know, it's just allergies. So we suffer through. And I do take allergy medication. So, you know. Okay. So let's get into the crafting. Crochet this week. I did finish my May temperature blanket, and I decided not to attach it yet because I didn't want to haul the whole blanket over to show you guys. So I finished May, and as I said, May was not exciting temperature wise. We just had the 2 colors in there, but I still think it's like a gorgeous blanket in square. I like how it turned out. I'm realizing as I'm doing these that I probably was remiss a bit in attaching the squares already. I should have probably blocked them. Being new to crochet, I'm not, I haven't done that yet, and I know that you should. So this blanket is going to be not blocked. But maybe going forward in the future, I will get some blocking boards or something from Amazon and block my things. But anyway, so I finished this square. I have to say again, I really love how this yarn feels. This is again the Caron Simply Soft, and the combination of the Simply Soft and this moss stitch or linen stitch just feels really good. And this is just going to be the nicest blanket for next year. In addition to that, I have been this past week just like really into making scrunchies. So I made a couple of these. I made one for myself, and then I'm making at least three more. So I have 3 or 4 colors of cotton yarn, and then I have a bunch of, you know, hair bands, elastic hair bands, and found this really quick and simple pattern to make a very ruffly scrunchie. 2 of my friends actually wanted this yarn, which is the one I made for myself as well. So I'm making 4 out of this. No, 3 out of this, and then I have another one as well. So I'm making one for a friend from work, and then I'm making one for Julie, stitching at the cabin. She only wears scrunchies when she exercises, but still, they're cute. And then I'm gonna make one for Alyssa, and then I'm gonna see if I can make one for Addie, for Julie's grand baby, not the baby, the bigger baby. I'm gonna see if I can take the the hairband, the, you know, black ouchless one that I'm using, and like double it on itself and see if I can make like a baby size scrunchie. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm gonna see if I can. But I think they're so cute. I mean, and you know, they're cute in your hair, they're cute as a bracelet, they're just cute and they're fun, and they only take me like an hour to make one, so it's kind of a fun little thing. Oh, and I did make them using my new Prim crochet hook. I wanted to try out these are the Prim ergonomics, and I kind of like it. These are the first plastic hooks that I've tried. One thing they say is plastic on acrylic can squeak, and that's annoying, so I've been using them on the cotton. The one thing, and I'm not sure if I like it or I don't like it, is they are super, super lightweight. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes the heaviness kind of grounds your hand when you're crocheting. And these are like super, super lightweight. They are comfortable in my hand, but you know, I'm still learning. I'm still getting to know things. I have been really enjoying crocheting this week and watching like crocheting, you know, YouTube and stuff like that. And so I kind of want to do a little bit more. Probably today, I don't know what. I'm not buying any yarn for it. I have my baskets of yarn, and I don't think I really want to do an amigurumi, maybe. But I don't know. I just want to, you know, I've been watching a lot of stuff about granny squares, so I'm kind of interested in those. I got this book. I think I showed you guys this when I got it. This is from eBay. I got it for like $3 or something. The book was a disappointment because what I really was hoping for was like a book that had a bunch of different granny square patterns and interesting granny squares, and this is just regular old granny square, and then different things you can do with it, which I'll be honest, I have enough creativity that I can figure out my own thing to do with it. I wanted a little bit more excitement in my book, so this didn't help. But you know, we have online resources everywhere, so so I might look into making some granny square somethings, or just maybe start making some granny squares, and then if I make the same pattern, you know, you just gather them until you decide what you want to do with them, and then you can turn them into something. Yes, that is the beauty of the granny square. Okay, let's see. Now this isn't quite a fully finished. It's on its way to being a fully finished, but I thought I would show you guys. I started sewing together my back, my crocheted back, which I did with scrubby yarn, which I know is not typically a material that you'd use for a pillow back, but I just think it looks really cute, and I like the fact that it looks like fireworks to me. It looks just, it's got that sparkle from the scrubby part. Yeah, that makes it look like tinsel or fireworks or whatever. So I just sewed them together with a whip stitch. And I just used, I used some strands, like the full 6 strand of this color that I have in here. This sort of variegated blue, white, gray color. And I got the 3 sides together and I started stuffing it, and it needs to be stuffed more, and then I'll just whip stitch it closed. But I figure I want to try and get it done before the 4th of July this year, right? So at least I have it done. Doesn't mean I'm going to do anything with it, but so. Get it all stuffed down. And I'm just using fiberfill on this. I thought about using like the lizard bedding, but you would have to use a lot for this pillow, and I didn't think it would necessarily be worth it. I might stick some lavender in here among the fiberfill though. So anyway, it's gonna be cute. Cute little pillow. Okay. And then my whips, my stitching whips this week. I don't have as many as I have had in the past, because I had a couple days where I had one day where I was playing D&D, didn't really do anything that day, and then just didn't feel like stitching on Thursday, just didn't. So I worked on the dogs and cats counted canvas during the Zoom call last Sunday, and what did I do? Nothing exciting actually. I did a little bit more in this background, so like another row. What I really did is I extended my edges, so, which isn't very thrilling, but is the necessary first step before I do any other filling. And I do like this project. I think it's gonna be really cute when it's done. And then I pulled some colors. For the squares that haven't been started yet. So I'm going to use this one. Hopefully I'll have enough of this one for the purple, but maybe not, because it's one of the biggest squares. This one, this, so yeah, just filling in the squares that haven't been done yet. I pulled colors for those. And those are all Corone watercolors. Yeah, watercolors, which is a 3-strand. It's a 3-strand cotton, and so you destrand it, and so it's I guess when you pull the strands out, it's kind of like a pearl cotton thickness, but it's just got this sheen. It's just really a lovely fiber. I really like it. And I mean, it has some really interesting variegations. Obviously you have ones that are super variegated, ones that are less variegated, but I really love the texture that it gives. And when I'm doing these sort of patterns, stitches that I'm making up as I go along. I just really love the sheen. I mean, I guess there's no other word to use. I love the way that it just has a shininess to the stitches that I really like. Okay. Ow. Okay. So let's see, what else did I work on this week? Let's put this back. Okay, other than that, I worked on my Dad Notes project. I think I'm gonna have to like put one strand in every day kind of thing on this one, because my brother's birthday is July 16th, and I would like to get it done and to him before that. And I realize it doesn't look like I did a ton, but this is tiny stitching. This is a 28 count die. I mean, it's dyed by me, and I'm doing it over one, so there's a lot of stitches in there, even though it's very tiny. So I would say I'm about halfway done, maybe a little tiny bit more than halfway. So I need to work on this a little bit every day and get it done so that I can get it put together and in an envelope and send it out to my brother. I worked on my purple allium this week, which is by Riolis. Now, I will be honest with you guys, the last two Riolis kits I did, the Sweet William and the Forget-Me-Nots, are they Forget-Me-Nots or Bluebells? Forget-Me-Nots, I think. Loved them. This one, I like it. I don't love it the way I love the other ones, and I think it's just the pattern that I'm just not as enamored of. I mean, I think it's really pretty, and I think it's gonna be really pretty when I'm finished. I just, it's just not thrilling me as much. And I think part of it is because the flowers themselves are just not they're just not like popping into place as much. I don't know exactly what it is about it, and I said this before, I think that the flowers themselves, the pattern itself is kind of fuzzy looking, and so it just, it's kind of like blobs of color. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful blob of color when it's done, but I worked on this flower this week, and I swear, the whole time I was working on it, I felt like I was working on an anatomical heart. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what I felt like I was working on, like a purple heart, not a flower. But a lot of flowers look like hearts, so, but an anatomical heart, not a Valentine's heart. So, I mean, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not, going to UFO it or anything. I don't think. But it's not thrilling me as much as the two that I did before did. What I really kind of want to do is I want to work on the blackberries. I have been, you go through phases of what you want to stitch on, and I've been enjoying stitching on things with fruit. And in fact, I think one of my categories next year, because I have like Floral Fantasy, and I have in another month, I don't know if I still have it, but I have Flora and Fauna, which would be, animals and plants. But I think at one of those things, something's going to change to flowers and fruits, because I have patterns now that I've started that have like fruit in them, and I'm enjoying stitching on fruit for some odd reason. Okay, and then the last two things I worked on, Sweet Pea Fairy by Joan Elliott. She is definitely a favorite. I always enjoy working on her. she's so calm and zen, and it makes me feel that way when I'm working on her. I'm glad actually that I did her face and her hair and everything first. Sometimes I save like that part because as like a treat, but I'm glad I did that first on this one because, well, I didn't do it first. I did her bodice first, but I'm glad I did it early in the process because it does make me feel good to like look at her while I'm stitching other stuff. So I worked on her wing. So pretty. Okay, and then last but definitely not least, I worked on my Tinkerbell Petal Fairy. So this is the Petal Fairy by Mirabillia, which I am converting. Sorry, I'm getting a glare from the sun here. I am converting to Tinkerbell in honor of the retreat that I'm going on in November. So I wanted to at least get this started so that I can work on it there. And, you know, I didn't want to like start it there. And I wanted, excuse me, to get the flower done because that's the one thing I did not change anything, and I did get the flower done. So flower's done. And then I don't know if you are going to be able to see it at all. Okay, I started on her skin, and again, I don't know that you will be able to see because we're talking, okay, it's right there. It's 2 over 1/10, and I already had to frog because, and frogging 2 over 1/10 stitch on, is this 28 or 32 count? 28 hand dyed. So no joke, frogging that out. Like, you can't really frog it out. You have to kind of pick out the stitches. Like a lot of times if I'm frogging, I'll cut all the stitches on the back, you know, and then pull it out. You can't really do that because the stitches are so small, and like, especially in this one, you know, it's close enough to the color of the fabric, or they're both light tones or whatever. Like, I didn't want to get near it with my scissors and accidentally cut the fabric. What happened was, this was just me being dumb. The two colors that are in the face, there's like the main face color and then the kind of like the accent color. The symbols, one of the symbols is a straight line and one of the symbols is a straight line that way. And so I did the first one correctly. I grabbed the right floss, but the second piece, I grabbed the wrong one. And I'm stitching along, and I got done with my piece of floss, and I look and I'm like, those are 2 different colors. And I really debated about leaving it because, you know, it's just small, but it's like her face, and it's right, her nose and stuff. And this is actually, again, I don't know if you can see it. That is her nose right there. So, I mean, it'll look a lot better when we've got the back stitch in, but I don't even know if you can see it on the picture. She's kind of looking up like that, and she's got, you know, her nose sort of pointing towards the flower. So that little point is her nose, and then I had stitches above and below that with the wrong color. So I pulled them all out, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done for the night. So I'm hoping I didn't damage my fabric. It looks a little fuzzy right there, but I think it's just remnants of the floss, and it should be fine. It should be fine once I get the stitches back in correctly. And then it's on to the more challenging things. I mean, the wings and the dress are just color changes. So basically I swapped out colors and I'm just following the pattern. The challenging part is going to be the hair, because I'm actually kind of not really redesigning it. The picture, she has like kind of a big bun at the back of her head, and I actually took and blew up the pattern, cut out the bun, moved it to the top, you know, kind of did some stuff, and then I'm going to follow the chart from there. But it's also color change, so hopefully it'll look good. It will not be over one, so it'll be easy to pull stuff out, hopefully, if I need to. Hopefully I won't need to. But yeah. So that'll be exciting. I'm excited to bring that to the retreat, because when I do something like this, converting, I really liked making my Mediterranean Little Mermaid, which again was basically just converting colors. I did a little bit of recharting. Obviously I charted Flounder, which I'm super proud of him. Excuse me, I recharted her body shape a little bit to make her look more like the Ariel that I had in my head. I added, that particular pattern has very little bust, and I added a little bit more bust, and I had to rechart the way, because in that chart the mermaid colors come up like this, and I didn't want that for Ariel. I wanted like a little bralette top. So I charted the little bralette top with the shell, and you know, and I took off a couple of the fins that were on the actual chart. So it was a little bit of recharting, but not a ton. I really like that type of conversion where I'm taking something that's already there and just kind of enhancing it to make it look like a character. And obviously not exactly like the character, or like not the cartoon version of the character. And that's the same thing I'm doing with the Tinkerbell Fairy, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So, okay. So that's it as far as my crafting this week. Haul type stuff is I did get my Halloween special collector's edition magazine. So for those of you that are not aware, just Cross Stitch magazine made a change this past year, I guess. Before it was like, it was a magazine every other month. And so it was like 6 magazines a year and the Christmas edition, which for me, the Christmas edition is basically something just to give to somebody else, because they never even have any Hanukkah patterns in there. But aside from that, I don't stitch Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm Jewish. I celebrate Hanukkah when I celebrate. So when I've gotten that magazine in the past, I've only had the subscription for a year. I gave it away. Now I have purchased the Halloween edition. I didn't purchase it last year. In fact, I kind of want to go in and just get it, just so that I have going, you know, all of the magazines going forward. Well, I don't have all of them, but I have several. But anyway, so they made a change. Sorry, my train derailed there. So it used to be like 6 magazines plus the Christmas one, but the Halloween one was not included. You had to buy it separately. And then they changed it to where it's a quarterly magazine and you get the Christmas and the Halloween. So I guess you get less, but you get more. And supposedly the quarterly ones are bigger, like more stuff in them. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just happy to get the Halloween one. I looked through it very, very quickly. There wasn't a ton in here that immediately jumped out to me that I want to stitch. But the one thing that I do think I really want to stitch, and maybe I should not have folded that, oh well, is Toil and Trouble. This is by Annie Craft of Dirty Annie's. And I'm not in love with the colors the way they did it. I don't like the skin against the moon. But I do like it in general. So I think I want to stitch this one. But yeah. And it's funny. I never know if I should like bring this up because it's not anything that super bothers me. And I will be honest, like when I stitch little witches like that, I don't mind giving them green skin. And but for those of you that are not aware, the whole witch green skin tall hat thing that goes back many years is an anti-Semitic trope that kind of plays off of, you know, in Europe, a lot of the Jews had Mediterranean sort of ancestry, and that's where the whole green skin, green oily, you know, skin, and the tall conical hat was actually something that women wore back then, and it became, in like the political cartoons, it was an anti-Semitic sort of trope, and it kind of went into this Halloween witch sort of look, and people don't realize that that it had origins in misogyny and blood libel and stuff like that, you know. I mean, it used to be that whenever a child went missing or was hurt, that they would round up the Jews and accuse them. So yes. So I'm always torn when I see Halloween witches with the green. I mean, I've always liked doing my Halloween witches or any kind of witches with green skin, purple hair, and I don't think that's a problem if you know at least where it comes from and are doing it knowing that and knowing that you're trying to take that away, take that anti-Semitic and misogynistic implication away from it. But okay, so plans. So this is the very last week of June. I thought that I would have to pull out projects for July this week, but really I don't, because I think the last day of June is next Sunday. So I will continue on this array of projects. I have one thing I haven't worked on yet, which is my rainbow, my twisted rainbow sampler, and I love it. I just haven't felt like working on it. Maybe I'll pull it out and work on it a little bit this week, just so at least I can say that I touched it this year. But I think that's the only project that I haven't worked on that was on my list for this month. And then next month it's time to pull out the mermaids, and I always do that when it starts getting hot. And I have one mermaid pattern that I intend to finish, and then one that is more long term, and then maybe it's time to start a new mermaid, who knows. But it's always fun to pull out the mermaids. So I think that that's it for today. It is 11:15. I hope that the video goes up in a timely fashion. And that some of you get a chance to see it today on Sunday. I hope you guys have a really good week. I hope that if the weather's getting hot for you, that you are enjoying it when you can, staying cool when you need to, stay hydrated. If you are on the other side of the world and you are starting to go into your winter, then stay warm. But yeah, for us all over the US, we're having heat advisories, and it's starting to get for me, uncomfortable. I know some people love it, so I don't want to put my opinions on the heat on everybody, but yeah, I am enjoying the fact that I have air conditioning this past week. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. I feel like my glasses are starting to fog up or something. I'm getting to where I can't see. And until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.